The Catholic Church in the Middle Ages was the source of all spiritual, economic, and political power. It believed in the concept of aesthetic dualism. This philosophy stated that the body should be denied any kind of pleasure in order to purify the soul. Christian monks practiced this by denying physical pleasures in order to prove themselves worthy of eternal salvation. Also, ailments affecting the body were viewed as punishment by God or work of evil forces. The Church looked down upon physical education, recreation, and sport.
St. Thomas Aquinas, the greatest of medieval scholastics, embraced the idea of physical fitness and recreation as a positive force in promoting social and moral well-being. In his classic work, Summa Theology, Aquinas argued that in order to achieve happiness, perfection in both soul and body are necessary. Aquinas embraced the idea of physical fitness and established philosophical and religious justification for cherishing the body and valuing physical education. Aquinas was not alone in his view that the body was important to the mind and soul. Jewish philosopher and physician Moses Maimonides observed that nothing is more useful for preservation of health than physical exercise. Maimonides saw that the individual exists as a natural union of both body and mind. While Aquinas and Maimonides expressed their views in theory, Bishop Odin of Bayeux was leading by example in action. Bishop Odin of Bayeux was a noble knight who served in the army of his half-brother William the Conqueror. Bishop Odin exhibited proficiency in archery, hunting, fishing, fencing, jousting, and many more. Bishop Odin was able to blend his spiritual virtues with athletic skills of a knight. This helped lead to the acceptance of certain athletic activities by the Church.
Holidays, rugged ball games, and medieval tournaments were all forms of recreation, sport, and play in the Middle Ages. Holidays were celebrated by the lower-class peasants. These people would gather with generous amounts of food and wine to celebrate seasonal agricultural holidays. These celebrations were usually drunken free-for-alls that resulted in property damage, injury, and even death. Rugged ball games were a popular form of entertainment. Games such as Soule and Kegels were enjoyed by not only peasants but people of all socioeconomic classes. Soule resembles the modern game of soccer, while Kegels was a form of bowling. Medieval tournaments proved to be a recreational and social gathering. These tournaments were enjoyed by all members of society. The most popular events were the joust and melee. Medieval tournaments eventually became obsolete due to the brutality of the events and the disapproval by the Church.
In conclusion, the Christian Church had a significant impact on the nature and purpose of sport in the Middle Ages, and this impact was based on its view of the body. Physical fitness and health were advocated by the scholastics, but because perfection in both the soul and the body were necessary to achieve happiness. The early Christian monks, however, saw enlightenment through bodily mortification and denounced all forms of sport and physical activity designed to promote health. Theories and practices by St. Thomas Aquinas, Moses Maimonides, Bishop Odin of Bayeux, and the work of Galen and De Medicina paved the way for the eventual acceptance of sport by the Church.